Today, we're jumping right back into the fray, following Yuri Ho on one of the most daring escapes imaginable, the 10,000-person march. A sword made from polished steel glinted right next to my ear.
You know, for Yuri Ho and Princess Carol, being stranded behind enemy lines means there's just no rest. Not ever. Even in the dead of night, the fight for survival is always on. An assassin strikes while they sleep, and it's only Yuri's razor-sharp instincts that stop their story from ending right then and there. And this isn't just some random soldier they've run into, no. This is Conqueror, the very same relentless Kaladi warrior they barely escaped from days ago. Somehow he's tracked them all the way through the forest, and now he's got Princess Carol with a blade pressed right to her throat.
But see, this isn't just about swords and spears. It's a battle of wills. Conqueror screaming threats, demanding Yuri's surrender or the princess dies. But Yuri, he's just ice cold, completely calm, because he sees right through it. He knows Conqueror's bluffing. A living princess is a priceless bargaining chip, right? But a dead one? She's worth absolutely nothing. For all his fighting skill, Conqueror is a terrible actor, and Yuri is about to call him on it.
So, with the mind games over, the real fight kicks off. Yuri challenges the warrior to a one-on-one duel, and this is where you really see his brilliance. He's not trying to just overpower the guy. Nah, he's smarter than that. He's outthinking him, aiming for every tiny weakness, every little gap in the armor. He's basically using Conqueror's own strength to bring him down.
It's a brutal, knockdown, drag-out fight, but in the end, Yuri comes out on top. Conqueror, a truly worthy opponent, is defeated. But victory always has a price, doesn't it? Yuri's own wounds are worse now. Still, they push on. He and Carol finally make it out of that forest and stumble into what looks like a ghost town, the abandoned Nika village. And in this creepy abandoned village, they find a glimmer of hope. It's a set of letters left behind by their friend, Mayalo. And this is huge. The letters tell their unit made it to the city of Reforma, and they reveal a secret stash of what they call sparks. Basically, a whole bunch of gunpowder buried right there in the village. Now, Yuri isn't the type to just sit around and wait for a rescue. No way. He uses that intel to set a trap. When enemy scouts ride into the village, he lures them right into the mayor's house, and then, boom! One barrel of gunpowder is all it takes to wipe them out, create one heck of a distraction, and most importantly, steal their horses. He's not waiting for a path to freedom, he's blowing one open.
They finally make it to Reform, and they're reunited with their unit. You'd think they could finally breathe, right? Wrong. The relief doesn't last long at all. The city is on its last legs, about to be completely surrounded. And that's when the Queen of Kilhaina gives Yuri a new mission, a task so massive, so downright impossible, that it can be summed up by this one number.
Yeah, the mission is just staggering. He's tasked with leading a massive exodus. We're talking more than 1,300 people. And it's not just soldiers. It's another princess, 1,000 civilians, and 300 brand new, green-as-grass soldiers. And he has to get them all out of this doomed city and march them straight through enemy territory to get to the border.
So you gotta be asking, why would anyone take on a suicide mission like that? Well, the reward is the stuff of legends. The Queen offers Yuri the Empress's Jade Seal, a treasure with unbelievable power and political weight. Not only that, but she promises titles, land, and a small fortune for every single soldier who makes it out alive.
And of course, Yuri accepts. He immediately starts organizing this massive group of terrified civilians and rookie soldiers. This is the beginning of the 10,000-person march. And it is a desperate race against time, because the main enemy army is closing in on Reforme, and they are closing in fast. But you can't just move that many people without someone noticing. Their escape gets picked up by the Papal State's top brass. We're talking about their elite commanders, the brilliant and totally ruthless Angelica and the cunning war minister Epitaph. The second they hear about it, they are in hot pursuit.
And their plan? It's as swift as it is deadly. They're taking 1,000 of their absolute best knights, loading them onto ships, and sailing up the coast. The idea is to land in front of the refugees, cutting off their only path out. It's a classic, perfect pincer movement designed to trap and annihilate them. But here's the thing. They're not just chasing any commander. They're chasing Yuri Ho, a master of fighting dirty. He takes his unit's eagles,
which are normally just for scouting, and turns them into a literal air force. He starts launching raids from the sky, dropping firebombs right onto the enemy's supply wagons. It's a brilliant move that cripples their advance and buys his people the one thing they need most: time.
So after all that running and fighting, the civilians are finally getting close to the border, close to safety. But it all comes down to one final, massive confrontation. The entire escape, all 1,300 lives, hinges on a single choke point: the Zuck Bridge.
And Yori, being Yori, turns the entire approach to that bridge into a nightmarish death trap. First, he has his soldiers chop down trees to block the road. Then, they throw up a makeshift wall for his riflemen to fire from. And the whole area is littered with hidden traps designed to bleed the enemy every step of the way. But all of this is just the opening act for the real finale.
Okay, the last of the civilians are across. They're safe. Now it's just the rear guard left. Just Yuri, Leo, and Dala, standing against 1,000 charging knights. As the enemy floods towards them, Yuri gives the signal. And the trap is sprung. That hidden gunpowder planted deep inside the bridge's main support, it ignites. The whole Zuck Bridge just erupts in a massive explosion of fire and splinters. It collapses straight into the river below, taking the first wave of the Papal States army right along with it. There's no way to follow. The pursuit is over. It is quite simply checkmate. They actually did it. I mean, against all odds, they pulled it off. They've escaped. They led over 1,300 people straight out of the jaws of death and back to the safety of their own homeland. So while Yuri's people are celebrating this incredible, hard-won victory, things are looking, well, pretty grim for their enemies. Angelica and Epitaph are now stranded, their way forward is gone, their supplies are destroyed, and they're forced into a long, brutal, starving retreat, all while deep inside hostile territory. And way back at the Knight Academy, far from all the fighting, word finally gets through. A letter arrives from Yuri. It's the proof they've been waiting for. He and Carol survived. You can just imagine the relief their friends must have felt. For just a little while, everything is okay. There's peace. So Yuri and his unit return home as heroes. They're the saviors of thousands, and they're carrying a legendary treasure. But let's be real. This was just one battle in a much larger war. The Papal State wasn't defeated. Not really. They were just delayed. So yeah, they're home. They're heroes. But the big question is, for how long? How long can this peace possibly last? And what new, even deadlier wars are waiting for them just over the horizon?
Plot capsule.